Hello, guys. My name is Priye. Welcome to episode 1 of Wealth Creation Series 101 with Exclusive Shelters. And today, on today's episode, we're going to talk about how you can be able to start or get your first real estate property in Abuja. Stay tuned. So you've been saying that you want to invest in real estate, you want to buy your first property in Abuja. You even saved up a certain amount of money to begin that investment. You've heard the story about how properties in Abuja, the prices, how they appreciate. You've heard stories from your friends about their real estate property, their projects, and how they are benefiting from it. But you don't know where exactly to begin from. So we're going to give you a simple roadmap as a beginner investor or a property seeker. So we're going to start with one. So now you might be asking yourself, where do I actually begin? Like, how do I start? Well, number one, know your goal, not just the property. Some people tend to be like, okay, I want to get a land or I want to invest in land banking, but they do not understand the reason why. So before you actually think of the property, you have to know the reason why, the goal behind your investment. Is it for long-term investments? Is it for short-term investment? Is it even for residential use? You just want to get a property and reside with your family. So you have to have a goal before you think about the property itself, because that will be very, very helpful for you to ensure that you're making the right decision. And two, know your budget. It's very, very important. Aside from having a set goal for the kind of property and investment you want to invest in, know your real budget. For instance, you cannot say you're looking to get a property at Asokoro or in Maitama in Abuja with a budget of 5 million, even 20 million is not feasible. So if you have a budget of probably 50 million, know exactly the kind of location, investment location that will be able to be feasible for that particular budget. So for instance, now with a budget of 200, 500 million, you can be able to get properties in locations such as Guzape, Wuye, Maitama. And with a budget of probably 20, 30, 50 million, you can be able to get a good property, even 150, 180 million. You can be able to get a good property, let's say a 4-bedroom terrace in places like Karsana. So it's very, very important to know exactly what your budget is for the particular investment and for the particular location. Number three, turn your budget into a specific property. So now in the second part, I spoke about knowing your budget, like having a real budget. So now it's important to have a budget, but you have to also know if that specific budget is meant for the particular property you are looking out for. For instance, now you have a budget of, let's say, 30 million to invest in a property in Karsana. So now you know that that 30 million naira can be able to get you a 250 square meter in Karsana and in a very good location. So now you know that, okay, with 50 million, I can be able to get this plot size or this particular property. So let your budget be specific to a property type. And number four, choose your location based on your goal. For instance, now when I talk about goal, I'm talking about your investment goal. Are you looking towards long-term investment? Are you looking into short-term passive income? Things like that. So you have to ensure that the location that you're picking is specific to your goal. If you're looking for long-term investment, more of like land banking, you look at areas that are currently developing, areas such as Karsana, Kuje, Kitty. Those places where they are development, but a whole lot of development is still possibly going to happen in those locations. So in those kind of areas, you can look towards land banking. So if you're looking towards short-term passive income, then you'll be looking at places that are like Wuye, Life Camp, Marine Park, Kado, places like that where you can be able to have short-let apartments for passive income that is already very developed and thriving. So for instance, you cannot go to a place like Maitama and say you want to get a plot to land bank in that area. Like, that's not possible, that's not feasible, because Maitama is already developed. It's already a very developed area in Abuja. So if your goal is for long-term investment, you have to look for developing areas in Abuja where you can keep your money and you know that your money is going to appreciate. If you are looking for short-term or passive income, you have to look for already developed habitable residential areas where you can be able to have short-let apartments, annual rent apartments. You can get people already living there that it's already fully developed. Step 5, due diligence. I don't know how I'll be able to explain this for people to understand. It's one thing to have a good location, it's another thing to have the right budget and have the right goal. But it's also very important to do your due diligence, your legal search. You have to know what kind of property, what kind of title is this property you're going to get. For instance, now you can get a location, a plot of land or a house in a very good location and it has a title issue, or you think that you are getting a CFO, certificate of occupancy, but in reality you are getting a letter of intent, or you have to know how clean that property you are going for is. You have to go to legal search, you have to do your legal search in offices such as FCDA to ensure to know the history of the land and the right owners, to know if the person you are getting it from is truly the right owner, or if the property or the land you are going for it was truly allocated to the person you are buying it from the developer. Number 6, review the agreement before you make payment. So usually in the whole process is maybe you contact a real estate company or an agent and you show interest in this particular location. Then you go for a site visit and all that. Maybe you do your legal search. Then you proceed towards they'll give you an offer letter, things like that, contract of sales, things like that. So before you actually make payment, you have to bring your lawyer, your property lawyer, to read through the offer letter, know what exactly you are getting into when it comes to the payment plan. For instance, now most real estate companies might not make it very clear that if you pay initial 50%, you have to pay the remaining 50 within 3 months. So you have to ask all these questions. Oh, what is the payment plan like? How long does it take for me to get allocated to the particular project or land that I got? So you have to ensure that you know what you are getting or going for before you make payment. And the last one, make the purchase and keep your documents. After all the whole legal search, site visit, inspection, and all that, and you move to the payment aspect when you are very confident that you are keying into the right property. It's very, very important not to just accept your receipt. You have to check out all the documents to ensure you are getting your power of attorney, your deed of assignment, those important documents. Ensure that you keep them properly to show your rightful ownership of the property you just purchased. And that, guys, is all I have for you today. These are a few of the steps for your beginner's roadmap. State your goal and the reason for investing. Very, very important. 2, know your budget. Ensure that your goal is in line with your budget. Number 3, turn your budget into your property target. Choose your location based on your goal. And number 5, due diligence. It's very, 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 very critical and important to do your legal search before making any sort of payment. Number 6, review the documents and everything before payment. Very, very important as well. Make the purchase and keep your documents. Ensure that you keep them safe from harm, from either natural disaster or from theft. It's just so important that you ensure after making purchase you get the right documents from the developer and all that, from the agent you bought. So important. So thank you for sticking with us, the first episode of Wealth Creation 101 with Exclusive Shelters. Ensure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay tuned for our next episode, because we're going to bring you a lot of insightful tips for beginners, for experienced investors, a whole lot we have installed for you. I am, again, Priye Campbell, a wealth creation strategist, and I'll see you in the next one.